There's so many learning myths that we encounter every day that people are stuck on. There's the one with learning styles. There's the 10,000 hour rule. There's we only use 10% of our brains. Maybe name a couple of the most common ones that you think need to be debunked so people can really get to these more proven learning strategies and not be caught up in what they think works.
I mean, you just took at least one of the ones that I would have mentioned here, which is learning styles. But I actually would lump learning styles in with like a left brain, right brain mentality too. Really, anything where we're trying to categorize people in that way is probably inappropriate, and we don't have the research to support it. All of these things have like a nugget of truth, right? Yes, people have different preferences, and motivation certainly impacts learning, right? And people have they do in fact have like lateralization in our brain where the left side of our brain is used more for language processing and the right for more spatial processing, for example. But we're all using all of it, right? Oh, I'm getting into the 10% too. I'm just going to talk about all of them here. No, but I think that the ones where we're boxing people in and labeling them are particularly dangerous and counterproductive for most of our organizational leaders, because what you really want is to cultivate skills, right, in people. So if I'm going to box them in and I'm going to say, hey, on this team, I need a left brained person. So we're going to bring this person in. What you've done is made it so that the more right brain person can't develop that skill. And it's all of these things are saying that there's something that someone can't do. And that's what I hate, because that's not what it means, right? So when we're looking at learning styles, it is not that someone can't learn auditorily or visually or whatever. It's that they might have a preference for that. And so boxing people in like that really limits them. It limits what we can do with the talent that we have. And so I think that can be really, really problematic. But also getting into what can stop people from using the strategies that we were talking about.
Well, and the other big myth that I hear a lot is effective learning should feel easy. No. Robert Bjork said desirable difficulties. It's going to feel effortful and tough. And you're not going to feel like you get it right away, but you're still trust the process because you are learning it in a deeper way. Also wanted to mention too, because I hear this a lot, that they have their brain training apps. They're expanding their working memory by the end dual back tests or the luminosity. And this is a multi-billion-dollar industry. And yet it only demonstrates very near transfer for certain tasks. So in the end, right, translating it to layman's terms, it doesn't work, correct?
Yeah, it works for the tasks that are in the app. So if you want to get better at Sudoku, do Sudoku. If you want to get better at crosswords, do crosswords. If you want to get better at luminosity, do luminosity. But the extent to which that translates into everyday life is pretty limited. So whatever it is that you want to get better at, do that.
The other common myth that I hear too is that we have now the attention span of a goldfish. And Dr. Daniel Willingham out of the University of Virginia says that's not the case. That hasn't been proven. He can show that we can focus for long periods of time on certain things, that really technology is just incentivizing us not to focus for very long periods because there's other things that are distracting us in the environment. What are your thoughts on technology and its ability to reduce our focus and our attention span?
I mean, again, I think it's kind of a practice makes perfect kind of situation. It's not that our attention spans are low. If you can sit and watch a Netflix documentary and stay focused on it the whole time, that's proof. Like you have a good attention span. That's not the problem. The problem is that we have less practice focusing on things that we find boring. So I think the way that technology is really changing our attention is that we spend a lot more time with split attention. I am half in this meeting and half on my phone, and I'm going back and forth between the two. And that means that our ability to retain either of them, our ability to perform either of those tasks is far decreased. But it's not that we couldn't do it effectively if we just put the darn phone away and focused on what we needed to focus on. So I think technology changes the way that we approach tasks. It changes what we're practicing over time, but it hasn't changed our ability.